business. In 2017, I earned so much. Live presentation. The number of people that were able to succeed in my team was very, very limited, very, very small. Why? Because very few can actually master the act of sharing the business on a stage. And it costs quite a lot to organize seminars at that time. Yes. In 2018, something happened, but something happened in 2018. In 2018, that was when I traveled to Philippines and I met some persons that I discussed with them, because I found out that if I stop presenting, 90% to 95% of my money goes down. You see that? So majority of the money I was earning was dependent on what I could do myself. And that is not business. That's no business. So that was when I was taught on how to create training materials, start mentoring people, start coaching people. So I started coaching, I started mentoring, but we are no much of tools available, like our recorded videos available for people to use in 2018. 2019 came. What did I do in 2019? In 2019, I was able to get people to learn to organize seminars at a very, very cheap rate. So people don't need to spend hundreds of thousands on radio, on television, on billboard for them to organize seminars. But if you notice, the seminar thing is still there. Did I record success in 2019? Yes. I earned approximately close to 20 million. There came 2020. What is it that I learned in 2020? In 2020 was the very first time we developed our recorded video. When I mean our recorded video, most of our trainings, they were never recorded. Never. I will record. People like Eminent Augusta and some other leaders, they will put their phones when I'm teaching and they will record and listen to it. There was no intention there was no intentional move on my side to record a training so that someone else can take a look at it, watch it, and then learn. What made me to go on recorded videos? Coronavirus. The same coronavirus that grounded a lot of people, drained a lot of people, made a lot of people to lose so much money. The same coronavirus enabled me and launched me into a whole new level of life. I'm telling you, I earned the most in my global life in 2020. Can you explain that? When I was analyzing that, what I noticed was that I found out that people were using tools. People started using recorded videos. People started using WhatsApp tools. People started using Facebook. Using tools. Do you know why I'm saying this to you? A lot of businessmen get trapped by the conventional, what they've been doing that have been working for them. And that's why they don't grow. Many persons don't grow because they are too proud to let go of what they think that works. Yes. For sure. In 2021, when I analyzed my success, 99% of the money I earned in 2021 came as a result of people organizing themselves in terms of teams and started working as teams. Do you see the way I'm itemizing for you the difference between my years in my results? It's because I'm someone that reviews my progress from time to time. I ask myself, what worked for me this year? What worked for me last year? There are so many things I built in 2019 that died in 2020. It was very painful. I had to look back there and then learn. I have one of my most viable teams back in the days, Mango team in local government, a local government in Plateau State. A team that grew to about 700 and something in less than 3 months. Massive explosion. What is it that happened? I wasn't able to transit them during the coronavirus time. I wasn't able to transit them very fast to hook up online. Why? Because I kept doing the business traditionally with them and never exposed them to the beauty of online. So in 2020, all our teams that we couldn't get online to join us in building businesses online, we lost all the teams. I will say it again. Every single team we built, then we are not able to transit them online effectively. We lost all of them in 2021. In 2020, we lost all. When I mean lost all, we lost all the teams. So many teams got drowned. It's about being a mixed martial artist. You don't get yourself stuck by just one way of sharing the business with people. So I want us to look at the 6 different tiers of exposure. These are the 6 different ways you can actually share our business. Please, I know many of you have listened to this training often and on. Please, I beg of you, I want you to listen to this training with the heart to learn something and then to start implementing. After all, why are you here in the Millionaire School? So some of you, this is the very first time you're hearing the 6 different tiers of exposure, how to expose our business to people. Take a look at them. You that has been doing very well, you that have been building your teams very well, are you utilizing the 6 different tiers of exposure? Are you using all of them? So at the end of this presentation, of this training by Mike Morris, I'm going to be asking, especially those of us that are leaders, how many of these different tiers of exposure are we utilizing in the moment? How many are we utilizing in the moment? How many? So let's take a look at that training, the 6 different tiers of exposure. Okay, it's opening.
Okay, welcome back. In this module, we are going to do a quick overview on inviting. I'm also going to cover the 6 tiers of exposures. And
how many of you here have your Millionaire School notes with you? Let me see. Where's your? What program? Yeah, it's not here. It's not here. Let me see our Millionaire School notes. Ha! Some of us here don't even know what is Millionaire School notes. If you are here with your Millionaire School notes, I want to see it. Okay. Listen, if you are attending a Millionaire School, I can see you, Madam Chigo's here. I can see you, Mommy Murayo. I can see you, Daddy Joseph. I can see you, Engineer Henry Ike. I can see you, Mommy Dorcas. If you're attending Millionaire School and you don't have your Millionaire School notebook, you are not doing well. Okay, so let's look at the 6 different tiers of exposure. Make sure you write it down. And then after that, all of us will tell me the ones we are utilizing now, how many of those tiers we are utilizing now, and the ones we're going to be making efforts to start utilizing. Okay? All right, so let's listen.
In this module, we are going to do a quick overview on inviting. I'm also going to cover the 6 tiers of exposures. And in all of the modules we're going to do on inviting, I want you to pay attention more to these modules on the invitation skills really than anything else. And if I had to look back at my career in network marketing, especially when I was first getting started, as far as first getting started, having success in network marketing, if there's one thing I'm really glad I got good at, it was inviting, because I was not a good presenter. In fact, I was afraid to speak in public. I never wanted to get on stage. And I ended up getting to a 6-figure income, in fact, before I ever presented to a large organization. It was a little bit crazy, but what happened was I got really good at inviting. And so most people wanted to be presentation man. You know, they couldn't wait to get on stage and present. I could care less. In fact, I didn't want to get on stage. I just wanted to get butts in the seats. And because I got good at getting butts in the seats, I ended up getting to a six-figure income. And the first time I ever spoke on stage, I was earning six figures. We had almost 400 people in the room, and my mentor, who was the one who would always present, him or a couple other people would present, I always backed out of it, and he finally made me. I argued with him, and well, he won out. But because I got good at that, it allowed me to end up having a lot of success. Most people would have no guests or one guest, and I would consistently have multiple guests. I would have as many as 10 guests at one opportunity presentation. And so here's the thing: you can be bad at closing, you can be really bad at presenting, you can be bad at following up, you can even be bad at getting new members started. But if you show the business to enough people, you're going to enroll enough people to find the leaders that are going to run with it. There's the old saying, if you...
There's something I want us to listen to here. There's something he said here I need us to pick. Very, very powerful statement. Now, I want to create a balance to it. He said, you can be bad at closing. Remember, closing is one of the 7 core disciplines. You can be bad at presenting. Presenting is one of the 7 core disciplines. Do you see that? You can be bad at following up. Follow up is one of the 7 core disciplines. You remember? You can even be bad at getting new persons started. Remember, getting new persons started is one of the 7 core disciplines.
But if you show the business to enough people.
Now listen to this. If you show the business to enough people, you are going to enroll enough people to find the leaders. Now watch that word, leaders that are going to run with it. So watch this. Why is it that you may be bad at training people? You may be bad at presenting. You may be bad at, what's it called? Follow up. But why is it that when you find leaders, you become successful? Can someone answer me that question? Someone that is bad at everything, but he was able to expose the business to enough people to find the leaders that runs. Why is it that finding the leaders makes the person very successful? I want someone that will answer that question. It's a very technical question, and I have been giving you the answer here every now and then. Can someone answer me that question? Because when you can get the answer to that question, it positions you for massive success in the business. Let's go. Why is it that exposing the business to enough people and finding the leaders makes you successful? Can someone tell me the answer? You show the business to plenty of people, but at the end of the day, you were able to find the leaders. Why is it that finding the leaders is what made you to become very successful? Engineer Henry, you are raising your hand. Go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah, finding the leaders will in turn help you to build a team. And our business is all about building teams.
Why?
So
Why? But you are bad at presenting. You are bad at follow up. You are bad at this thing. And you and I know that anyone that is bad and their team is bad on this, the person cannot succeed in the business. But why is it that finding the right leaders, finding the leaders in the midst of sharing the business to a lot of people makes you to become successful? It's a very, 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 this one is master's degree question.
Yeah, our business is about is about having a good leadership. Because when you, even though you are people you bring into the business, if your leadership qualities are not
okay,
good,
you are a bad leader. You are a bad leader. And yes, you are a bad leader, and you are able to find the right leader. Why is it that find the right leader? What is it about? Now let me help you so that you can get it. I know you can get it. You're an engineer. See, why is it that finding a leader makes you, because the truth is this, you are not a leader when you don't know prospecting. I'm giving you some clicks now. When you don't know prospecting, when you don't know, I get it, you're not a leader. You're not a leader.
The 7 core disciplines.
Yeah, but you were able to just be sharing the team. You are sharing, and then in the midst of sharing the business to a lot of people, you were able to find the right people, that find the leaders, and finding them made you to become successful. Why is it that finding them made you to become successful?
It's just because of that leadership qualities they
What
have.
is that thing? What is that thing about leadership quality? I need to get it, engineer. What is that thing about leadership quality?
Influence.
Taking responsibility. I nearly baptized Mr. Daniel as an engineer. What do you say again? That's why I study sociology. I'm not an engineer. Taking responsibility. Engineer, did you get it now?
Yeah.
Leaders take responsibility. Let me tell you the truth. Engineer often, when he recruited me, engineer often didn't have to sit down and teach me prospecting. Engineer often doesn't need to sit down and teach me inviting, follow up, presenting. He doesn't need to do that. You know why? I was already a leader. Now listen, I don't believe in the school of thought that says leaders are born. No, I believe that leaders are made and developed. That's the reason why people that are already very successful in a career or in a chosen business, trust me, if you can get them to join your business and understand your business, they will explode your business. Do you know why? What the character trait that made them to become successful in those careers is the same character traits they need to become successful in anything. That's why you see people that are successful, very, very successful, they tend to become more successful in everything they do. How many of you have noticed it? How many of you have noticed it?
Yes,
it is not luck. It is the character.
Yeah.
It is the character of success. That character trait of a leader, of taking responsibility. So there are people I recruited in my business. They are not there sitting down waiting for me to the day I will teach them prospecting. They want the video on prospecting immediately. They are not asking me things like, hey, engineer, also, when are you teaching us presenting? No, they are not asking me that question. They're already downloading materials and they are not asking me, please, sir, can I have more materials on presenting? They are not waiting for me to teach them how to do follow-up. They're already on YouTube, downloading Matt Morris videos, downloading Eric Warren videos, watching it. That is who a leader is. That is exactly the spirit I'm trying to infuse in all of you. That is exactly what will make you to become successful. That is why I said in my millionaire school yesterday, if the time for the millionaire school, because I wasn't there last week, you were not building your business, you were not utilizing the time, it means you are not yet a leader. Because you are still confined within the boundaries of Engineer Nonso Eminent Augusta being there for the millionaire school. The millionaire school is the time you dedicate to your business. The fact that I don't have a millionaire school on that day is not a reason to disconnect from your business. Many of you abandoned your business. It means you are still a follower, and followers don't earn much in life. So why is it that sharing the business with a lot of people helps you to find the leaders? Why is it that irrespective of the fact you are a bad person, you are a bad leader, you are a bad leader, you are very bad at many of the 7 core disciplines, but because you are very good with prospecting and inviting, you are able to find the leaders. Why is it that finding those leaders makes you successful? Because even though you are inefficient, even though you are unskilled, when you find the leaders, they are not going to look at your ineffectiveness. They will grow beyond your ineffectiveness and find ways to develop themselves and to succeed in the business. Until I get you to the point where you start studying beyond what I'm teaching you, you are not yet a leader. Until I mentor you, until we coach you and get you to imbibe that spirit that pushes you to learn beyond what you are being taught, that pushes you to act beyond what you are being taught, you are not yet a leader. Engineer, did you get what I'm saying now?
Yes, I got what you're saying.
So
exactly.
Have you been in a place, maybe in your church, maybe in a church or something, you are in a department and you find out that the leader, the person in the department, maybe the departmental leader is not working so well, is not very experienced. Do you allow, and you love that department, would you allow yourself to be brought so low because of that leader? Would you? No.
No, you will try to bring in your own expertise, your own experience.
Simple. Let me teach us this. See this talk about leadership. It is a spirit. It is a spirit. I don't believe that leaders are being born. I believe leaders are made. out of discipline. The things you see me do, trust me, many a times in the morning I wake up, I don't feel like doing them. I don't feel like. Sometimes I don't feel like being in millionaire school. Sometimes I don't feel like being in running a business meeting at night. Sometimes I don't feel like sending a message to people. I don't feel like it. But you know who a leader is? Someone that's mastered his or her feelings. You can feel one thing and then do another. Until I get you to grow beyond the millionaire school. Until I get you there. I'm sorry. Let me give you another example before we continue. How many of you here, you have read the 2 major books we read in our team? My first year in network marketing and GoPro, you finished it front and back, the 2 books completely. Let me see you raise your hand. Not jumping any chapter. You finished the 2 books completely. Let me see you raise your hand. Did you see? Do you see what I'm talking about? And many of us here, we are already more than 1 year old in the business. We are more than 12 months old in the business. Yeah, the 2 major books you are supposed to read, GoPro and my first year in network marketing, every now and then we post it to the WhatsApp group. What stops you from reading it is because you're not yet a leader. That attitude, you think is just about our business. Watch it. It is also affecting you in many other areas of your life. I have found out that the most successful people in my team are people that are already very successful in most things they do in other things. I've noticed it. I've noticed that the most exceptional in my team, they've also been exceptional in other areas of their lives. Character or success is the same any day, anytime. Any day, anytime. There are some people that can never be held accountable. They can never hold they can never be accountable for anything. Anything you put into their hands, there must be story about it. Story. Watch their lives. It's always up and down. It's not just in our business. It happens in every other areas of their lives. Check it very well. You are listening to me. You know what I love about life? See, when we are done talking to you here, you have your life. I have my life. When I'm done talking to you, I'll go back to my closet and start looking at my own. I'm just advising you. Nobody is checking on you. Go and check your own. So let me ask you, what happens to your business if I say, I beg, I don't tire for millionaire school, I don't do it again? Will your business crumble? Anybody that his or her business crumbles, the person is not yet a leader. You see that? These are hard sayings. Some of you, your business is going like this. Because I'm no longer running business presentations every day. Emily Augusta, that buried the dad for some time now, have not been doing our own business presentations. So your business is doing like this. It's on a swing. It will swing up and swing low. And now it's trying to drag. It's still low. Do you know why it's like that? You have not imbibed that spirit of leadership, taking responsibility to learn. You have not. You are still tied to people. Do you know what of things I do for myself? Anytime I start a new business and I have my partners, I have people that are working with me, in as much as I love working with, partnering with people to make things bigger, but I sit down and study the total operation of that business, understand it very, 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 very well, and understand the roles that each person is playing in that partnership for the business to prosper. Do you know why I do that? So that tomorrow, if somebody does the Z baka in the partnership, the business, and I'm still interested, the business doesn't go down. So I keep telling people, if Engineer Noso should die today, will your business die? Don't say I cannot die. Back to the training we did yesterday. If something happens to your leaders now, something happens to them, they are nowhere to be found. 6 months, what will happen to your business? Would your business go with it? If your business goes with it, it means you have not imbibed that spirit of leadership, taking responsibility to learn and develop yourself. Ask yourself, can I do everything that regards to this business? I can prospect. I can learn about prospecting on my own and improve on prospecting. I can study presenting and improve on my presentation skills. I can study follow-up and improve on my follow-up skills all by myself. Yes. I can study inviting and then improve on my inviting skills on myself. I can study about starting up a new partners rightly and improve on it by myself. I can study about how payments are cleared. As simple as clearing payments. Some of you don't know how payments are cleared. That's why you see people that can be in a business for 7 months and 8 months. The way they talk about products or this or that shows you their nephews, their babies. Even though they've been there for the past 1 year. Some people even call me and say, sir, I need you to call the office for them to give me one product or the other. They don't even know that the same way they are partners, the same way I'm a partner. They don't even know they are not being treated special. They don't even know that. Even though registrations are being done for you, why don't you ask questions? How is this registration being done? What do I need to do to get to the point where I'm allowed to do registrations on my own? Ask that question. That is what makes you a leader. That's that spirit of leadership we are talking about. Taking responsibility. It's not attending millionaire school. I am here in the millionaire school. What I'm doing here is to pass across that spirit. I need you to catch it. You know, my mentor taught me, he said, some things are taught and some things are caught. I think you've heard it before. Trust me, when you catch a spirit, things that takes you 10 years to learn, you learn them in 1 week. Those of you that are spiritual people, you understand better what I'm saying. I'm telling you, I know some things I've struggled with, but just through one encounter, as in years of struggle disappeared. I can't find them again. The appetite, the hunger, everything, laziness, procrastination. The day I caught that lateness, the day I got the revelation and caught that lateness in things and giving excuses makes one a failure. That was the day I say no to it. That was the day, as in I can give this. I can manufacture excuse from the thing air. I can manufacture this as in I'm an excuse manufacturer. My body, my whole system is a factory that can produce excuses in the past. The day I caught, I've been hearing that giving excuses is bad. One thing you don't mention, if my son, if they ever do anything and they ask you, why did you do this? Better say sorry. You better say you will, if you ever give me an excuse, I will use slap and turn your face to your back. You don't give me an excuse. I don't take excuses. So don't give me an excuse. I'm sorry, no, I'm going to make sure I don't do this again. I know it's bad. Don't give me an excuse. I make a sacrosanct in my house, no excuse. Don't give me an excuse. In fact, if you come into our office, we have it as an inscription there. No excuses allowed here. No, I think no excuses and no excuses and no giving up is allowed here. We have it. I have it here in my office in just boldly written I think even if we put it outside the door, 3 places. We put it 3 places. As we put, there is one we put outside the door, as in before you even come in, you are seeing it already. We made it very, very before you reach the door, you are seeing it there. So if your neck is like this, you better straighten that head up before you enter the office. The day I caught it, that was the day excuses ended in my life. Listen to me. All these things is about turning you to become a leader. I know I had to switch. Let's finish up with the 6 different tiers of exposure, because I believe that there is something that some of us here will learn. But it's important that I pinpoint this. If you show the business to enough people, you are going to enroll enough people to find the leaders. Now look at it. There are a lot of people you will recruit in this business. You have to get them to go through all these trainings. See these trainings I'm giving you now. That's what I'm trying to do to get you to become a leader. But there are people, when you recruit them in the business, my dear, they don't need all this rigorous training every day. All they need, 1 week to 1 month, they've mastered everything and they'll start running their own business. But that is if you can expose the business to enough people. So let's look at the 6 different ways you can expose this business to enough people.
You're going to enroll enough people to find the leaders that are going to run with it. There's the old saying, if you throw enough mud against a wall, some of it is going to stick. Now, I'm not saying ignore those other areas. Don't. Get good in all of it. Get mastery in all of it. But if there's one that is the most critical, it is inviting. It is the gateway skill. So I want to address, first off, the need for credibility. A lot of people really feel like they have to have a lot of credibility if they can get good in inviting, otherwise people won't listen to you. And listen, when I got to a six-figure income, I had no credibility. I learned to use other people's credibility so that I could get my own. In fact, when I got to a six-figure income, I had been living at home with my mother. I was working at Saltgrass Steakhouse. I did not drive a nice car. I had nothing going on for me, but what my mentor told me to do, and I just believed him, he said, I want you to sell my credibility, sell my story so you can develop your own. And that's what I did very, very quickly. I learned to sell his story. And then before long, I had other people in my organization, they were selling my story so they could create their own. And so my mentor, he asked me one day, he said, what's the number one thing that we sell in network marketing? And, you know, I was like, it's time freedom. It's residual income. It's, is it our product? He's saying, no, 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 that's not it. And, you know, I'm like, finally, I give up. What is it? And he said, here's the biggest thing that we sell is an hour of time. An hour of time to get someone to look at our opportunity. If there's one thing that you want to get good at selling, that's what we sell. And my philosophy really, when it comes to presenting your opportunity, I don't think that's something we necessarily have to sell. The more you sell, sometimes the more people run away from it. It's a sorting game more than it is a selling game. In fact, one of my early mentors, he said, professionals sort, amateurs sell. And so I'm going to cover the different tiers of exposure because there's a lot of different ways that you can invite someone to see the presentation. So before we get into a bunch of invitation scripts and so forth, I just wanted to do a quick overview on inviting and then talk about the different tiers of exposures. And the next module, I'm going to go through some fundamentals of the invitation process. But the first tier of exposure, and the first tier of exposure down to the sixth tier, the number one would be typically the highest enrollment rate. And then number 6 would be the lowest enrollment rate. Now, every once in a while, you'll get someone who maybe just really, really good in person and they could skew the odds a little bit. But for the most people, most people, it's going to be the highest enrollment rate is going to be tier number 1. Tier number 1 is the biggest meeting possible with the best presenter. Now, that might be a hotel presentation. It might be, you got a big shot coming into town and there's a bunch of people who are going to be there. And so what happens is when there's a lot of people in the room, it creates social proof. You know, the guests, they come in and they feel the energy, they feel the excitement, they get to hear success stories. It can be emotional. You know, the presenter typically is going to have the ability to really present the products or the services really well. They're going to be able to present the opportunity. Hopefully they're going to be entertaining. They might be able to tell some jokes. They might be able to, kind of touch people emotionally. And it's going to be fun for people, they get to meet others. And so that environment is typically going to lead to the highest enrollment ratios. And so it might be a little bit harder to invite someone to an event like that because it might be a hotel, it might be a little weird inviting someone to a hotel. It's a little bit different. So they're going to typically ask more questions, hey, what is it? What are you inviting me to? And in the next couple modules, I'm going to talk about how you overcome what is it. And so that's the first tier of exposure. That's something that I definitely recommend you put in place. And, today, a lot of network marketers and even a lot of network marketing leaders have gone to, only doing webinars and, online stuff and things like that. And I just personally believe that there's no substitute for creating a social proof meeting. Not only does it allow for the highest enrollment ratio, but it also creates a bond. It creates culture within the team. And so I have, worked with leaders in my organization even who maybe they came from another company and they were used to doing webinars, and they wanted to get out of the hotel meeting or out of the in-person meeting game because, with all the people selling products, MLM training online, you get all these guys who have really never built anything substantial, and they're trying to sell you on, never have to go to a meeting again, the underwear entrepreneur and things like that. And so what I do, in fact, I'm thinking of one group specifically. I said, you know what, it's fine to do webinars. I'm not saying don't do them. In fact, do them, but you have to do this. I'm just telling you, lean on my leadership and put together those social proof meetings. And what happened is when these leaders came over, they started doing a lot of webinars. I mean, they were doing webinars almost every day. And, I really pushed them, start, at least once a week. And then they started a couple times a week. And then as they started opening up new cities and new markets, that caught on. And what ended up happening is they do almost no webinars now, and they do almost all meetings like that rather than the webinars, because it just flat out works. And so as you develop your leadership skills, this is something you definitely want to have in your arsenal. Now, number two, the second tier of exposure is an in-home party. Now, an in-home party is usually going to have a pretty good enrollment ratio because...
Let's get the first one clear. Okay. Social proof meetings. Social proof meetings are physical meetings whereby they're going to be a presenter. Okay. Then there are things that, coronavirus taught me quite a very big lesson. Okay. Coronavirus taught me a very, very big lesson that I had to re-strategize. Yes. During coronavirus time, what was the highest enrollment ratio that we had? It was social proof meetings, but where we are doing it online. Now, we have to look at the social proof meeting from the perspective of the characteristics. What makes it a social proof meeting? Because I know some people say, in my centers, I don't have any place where we are doing something physical. No, listen. Social proof meetings, what makes it unique is number one, there's going to be someone that has powerful results, maybe the highest earner in your business, maybe your top presenter in your business, or maybe your top leader in our team. Our 8 p.m. meetings are like our social proof meetings, and they're going to be what? Testimonies. Did you see that? These are the characteristics that makes it a social proof meeting. Hello? But listen, that still does not overrule the fact that physical presentations don't produce more result. Very, very well. Physical presentations will still, and we keep beating online presentations hands down. But if you're in a location where there is no top presenter, there are two things you can do. Either you develop yourself so fast and be a top presenter, or you start organizing seminars. Learn how to organize seminars, book those appointments with your leaders, and then host them. Simple. Some of you want me to come to your state. Make sure you give me 200 people in that place. Book my hotel. But you have to, so you will take care of your leaders. Take care of your leaders. Some of you don't know that your leaders, they need support. You want to drag your leader to moving from one state to the other using his own money. He will tell you he doesn't have time. Sir, we have an audience of 500 people. Your hotel is taken care of. Which flight are you using? Or which mode of transport are you using? Take care of it. Do everything possible to have your top presenters or your top leaders in your locality. We need to stop all this, our pampas wearing, training we are giving to people, where leaders are being enslaved. You want to host a leader, host him very well, honor him very, very well. Yes. You want to host a leader, host him so that tomorrow, if you call him, he want to come. You want to host a leader where he will spend more than 100,000 or 200,000 to come to your locality. You will sit 20 people, and then tomorrow you call on him and he will tell you he doesn't have time. You say, this man, I know they like come to my location. You are the reason why he's not coming to your location. So I don't want us to sit back and be looking at the social proof meeting as something that is meant for some special kind of people. You can do it. Find out how to organize seminars, how to share flyers, collect contacts, do radio adverts, organize social proof meetings, invite your leaders. Those of you that are in Abuja, in Lagos, pay for my flight and I'll be with you because I will not enter road so easily. But that's not the most important. Make sure you're sitting for me not less than 200 to 300 persons. And then you see me come to your location by next week. I'll finish the presentation. The next day, I'll fly back because I have other business to take care of. Social proof meetings will explode your business beyond your widest imagination. Now, what is the easiest way to do this? When you start building your business, you started having what? Results. You started having results. Learn to organize seminars and start presenting. Start presenting. You can have, there are some seminars that Eminent Augusta has actually, no, it was a partner of Mama Esther Wajie that did organize that seminar, if I'm correct. And then Eminent Augusta was there. And then I was also connected there. I share my testimony online. I'll connect on Zoom and they'll project me on Zoom. Say, oh, let's talk to our director now. These are social proof meetings, physical seminars. Connect the Zoom, project it on the projector, and then I will talk to your people one-on-one. There is also a way to have a social proof meeting.
You know, you're inviting people that you know, people that you're close to, and an in-home presentation. Some people call them PBRs, professional business receptions. You know, those are easy to invite people to. It's easy to invite someone to your home. In fact, I'm going to give you an invitation script that just flat out works like crazy. In-home presentations are very duplicatable. You know, in fact, when people join my team, part of our system in getting a new member started is within their first week, we want them booking an in-home presentation. And in-home, we call it kind of a party. Why do we have new people do that? Because it's one of the easiest ways and most duplicatable ways to get someone started and launched in their business. Now, the third tier of exposure, this is something I have done thousands of these over my 20 years in network marketing. It is the 2-on-1. That is two people in the business presenting to one person who's not in the business. Now, there is a ton of power in the 2-on-1 because what happens is between you and your friend, you have trust. They know, like, and trust you, but you may not have a lot of credibility. That's why it's important to bring in a third party, someone else. And listen, it doesn't have to be someone who's making a ton of money in the business. It just really needs to be someone other than you, because your friend knows you. You know, chances are you've maybe done crazy things together. You may not have any credibility. If you do have credibility, it's probably not credibility relating to network marketing or your company. And so when you bring someone else in, what happens is if it's just you and your friends, sometimes they may not take you very seriously, but when you bring someone else in that's not you, that they don't know, they have to be on their best behavior. Now, there's another module on edification and the edification triangle. You know, make sure you listen to that module. Now, that's the third tier. You're going to have a pretty good enrollment ratios there because it answers the question, will you help me? Because they see that you're getting help, they're more likely to believe that they're going to get help as well. Now, the fourth tier of exposure is a one-on-one. You meeting someone at a coffee shop, something like that, meeting someone for lunch. That is probably the easiest invitation. It's very easy to get someone to meet with you for coffee. It's easy to get someone to meet you with you for lunch or something like that. And I'm going to talk about invitation scripts for that. Tier number 5 is an invitation over the phone. Now, everything we've talked about so far is in person, belly to belly. There's no, I mean, that is just so strong when you can get together with someone in person. They can feel your energy. You can feel their energy. When you're meeting in person, they get that it's a real business. If you took the time to set up a meeting, to sit with them face to face, they get that it's real. They get that you are, you know, it's important to you. And that's an important aspect, especially when we get into the modules on closing. I'll talk about that a lot more. Now, tier number 5 again, over the phone. When you talk to someone who's typically not in your local market. Now, the majority of people that I've enrolled in my company that I'm involved, for instance, there's probably been half or even more than half that I enrolled over the phone. They weren't even in my city. They weren't even in my state. They may not have even been in my country. And so inviting someone over the phone to look at your presentation is tier number 5. And then number 6 is just anything else. This might be handing out a tool to a stranger. It might be giving someone a DVD or a CD, handing out a business card with a website on it, anything else. Now, your enrollment ratio is not going to be super high. If you're just, giving someone a DVD to watch on their own, obviously, if you don't have an appointment to follow up and things like that, your enrollment ratio is not going to be very high. But here's the thing, it is way better than nothing. I've had people that have joined my organization. In fact, I had a lady years ago, and crazy story, she saw a business card in a bathroom that was on a hand dryer. She picked it up and was curious. She went to the website and she saw that there was a members only login. And she said her main reason for enrolling was because she wanted to know what was in the private members area. So when you're out and about, I'm a big fan of having.
All right, we're going to stop here because we just have 2 more minutes. Let me use that 2 minutes to round up. I want to say this. How many of us here, believe me, will agree with me on this? There are people that can go on a lunch with you for 1 hour or 30 minutes or 45 minutes, but they may not attend a presentation at your office. How many of you agree with me? There are people like that. How many of you agree with me? Let me see, wave your hand if you agree with me. You see that? This is where we miss out. There are a lot of serious-minded persons. Let me tell you something here. Someone like me, you want to invite me or share with me a business, and then you are telling me to attend a live meeting. Now, I won't lie to you. There's every tendency, if it's an online meeting, I may not attend it. Seriously, I would want you to, if it's something that is very, very valuable, okay, I would want you to tell me about it. I can give you 35 minutes of my time, 40 minutes of my time, and we go out and over a bottle of drink, and then I will listen to you. Or maybe you just hand over your recorded video to me. But that recorded video you hand over to me, I may end up watching that video in a month's time or 6 months' time or 2 months' time, except if maybe you pressure life out of me. Yes. There are people that can give 30 minutes of my time, but I may not want to attend a presentation, a physical presentation, but I can give them 30 minutes of my time for us to maybe go to a fast food, over a bottle of drink, and then I genuinely hear them out. What does that tell you? You have to be a mixed martial artist. Okay? You have to be a mixed martial artist. So we have the social proof meetings, we have the home business launching. This is where you get to put people together in your homes, and then you share the business together with them. And then we have a 2-on-1 presentation, if I'm correct. Yeah, I have 2-on-1. You have 2-on-1 presentation. Can someone remind me again of another one? We have 6. Okay. 2-on-1. What's the next one? Mr. Jonathan Odaba, can you share with me what's the next one? Mr. Jonathan, can you share with me what's the next one? We have the social proof meetings. We have the
social proof meeting.
Okay.
One-on-one presentation.
Okay.
We have a home party.
Home party, yeah.
And we have I can't recall it, sir.
I need someone that will list it for me. Okay, I need someone that will list it for me. Okay, list it for me. Okay, all right, engineer, can you list it out completely?
Yes, the first one is a social proof meeting.
Social proof meeting.
Second one is the home party.
Home party.
The third one is the 2-on-1. You bringing in someone that has credibility.
And then 2 of you now present to one person. The fourth one.
Yes, that's 2-on-1. Then the fourth one is 1-on-1.
One-on-one.
Only you.
One.
Only you. Then the next one is invitation over the phone.
Oh, correct. Invitation over the phone. And then the 6th one is anything else. handing over the
Anything
tools.
else? Yeah.
Correct.
Your tools and all that. You give out the tools to strangers. Yes.
Exactly. All right. Thank you so much for being here in the Millionaire School today. This is 9:02 already. Don't forget our business meeting holds on Thursday and on Friday at 7:45 p.m. as I have scheduled for us. Please make sure that people are being invited. Start now to make those invitations and book people up for the Thursday night and the Friday night. I really trust God that by next week, we're going to have more time for business presentation. But for this week, it is on Thursday and on Friday. God bless you really good for being here today. Make sure that your partners get to watch today's recorded video. Okay, I'm fully back now at the office. So in the next couple of minutes, you're going to have the recorded video sent across to you. All right. Our national secretary would have wanted to have a word with us, but I think her network is really kicking her off and on. So she's not available here. Her audio is not on here. So I believe she will not be able to speak to us because her network is really very, very bad. God bless you really good. I love you all. Bye-bye.